Okay, so like there was a kid in high school who, this is not to like poor shame, because if he would have just owned that he was poor, he would have been so much cooler. Like we would have liked him so much more if he just like owned that. Like if he was just like, yeah, I'm like, my family is struggling. Like if that was his approach to trying to make friends in high school, no one would have had a problem with this kid. He probably would have been great. We probably would have loved him. But he would come to school every day and he would just have like a wad of cash and just throw it in everybody's face all the time, and like just be like the most obnoxious dickhead ever, like trying to make everybody think that he's like rich and whatever. And I remember one weekend, me and like a bunch of my friends, we like volunteered at this like one of my friends, she would volunteer all the time at the soup kitchen, and then she just like asked us one weekend if we wanted to go do it, and we were all like, yeah, we'll do it. So like one weekend we go and we volunteer at the soup kitchen. We're like, passing out meals and whatever, and who comes walking in? Mr. Moneybags.
What did he do when he saw you?
He was trying so hard to not make eye contact with us. Like I felt his anxiety. Like I felt how uncomfortable he was trying so hard to not look at us. And again, it's not like to say like, oh, look at you poor fucking asshole. Like, no, if he just wouldn't have tried to do the whole like, oh, look at this, like if he just didn't do that whole thing, he would have made friends.
Yeah. Did he do that after you guys saw him there or no?
I mean, he would, but if he saw, like, I'm sure he did it with my other friends too. But if he ever if he caught me out of the corner of his eye, he would like mute it a little bit. But like, I would still like walk up, and he would still be doing the same thing to like other people.
That is definitely like a hurt people try to hurt.
Oh yeah,
people.
for sure.
Have you kept up with him after
No, I
high
have
school?
no idea what happened to that kid. I have no clue. Like, yeah, he was. I mean, I was like a junior. I think he was a freshman.
Do you look people up when you think of them? Like, are you like, oh, you know what happened to so and so?
Sometimes. Honestly, I don't even remember this kid's name. So even if I wanted to look him up, I couldn't. Because like, I mean, like I said, he was a freshman. I was a junior. He wasn't particularly smart, so he wasn't in any like I mean, I was in like National Honor Society and student council and whatever. He wasn't in that. I was an athlete. He didn't play any sports, so like we never crossed paths. And he was a freshman, so I never had him in any classes. So it was like, I don't know I don't know who this kid is. I just saw him in the hallway, like trying to be like big baller, and like being obnoxious about it. Like not even like in a way that he's like, he was very clearly trying to hold this roll of money over people's heads and being like, you should be bowing to me. You know what I mean? It was like very much like that kind of energy. Mm-hmm. And so it was just like seeing him at that like soup kitchen, not volunteering, like at the soup kitchen, was just like, okay, yeah, where's that stack right now? Yeah. And again, it's not to shame him for being poor. I don't care. It's just it's the facade. It's him. He is the one who looks poorly on poor people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what's going on there. And it's like that's not like, poor people aren't lesser.
Do you think he learned that from his parents?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, where else would he get a stack of money like that? Like, he definitely got that from his parents.
Yeah. Was this around the .com bubble?
It had to be. I mean, that's when I was in high school. I'm among the first wave that was on the internet, so it had to be around the .com bubble.
Yeah, I wonder if his parents were affected and was like.
No, they were immigrants.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't want to say what country because that'll make this even more weird, but I mean, I will say it's not like a Middle Eastern country or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It is a European country, but I'm not going to say what country.
Yeah,
I think most Europeans will probably know his ethnicity after the description I just gave. Most Europeans will probably know his ethnicity.
Do you think that's something that he grew out of, or do you think he kept that up?
I don't think. I think he probably kept it up. Just
disappointing.
His his culture is very similar to my culture. I'm Serbian. Like, we are very similar in our cultures. And I'm going to say no, he didn't grow out of that. Because I just look at most of like my family and whatever, and I'm like, oh no, they didn't grow. Like, a lot. I mean, most of my family's gotten more responsible because they're mothers and fathers now, but like they still have the same mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have such a chip on my shoulder about wealth that even Santiago, it's something that gets to Santiago, because there's some things that I consider wealthy that he is telling me, no, Sam, that's middle class, that's not wealth. I'm like, that's wealth.
like what?
Like hot dogs. The bar as hot dogs. Who does not know what bar as hot dogs are? And then I posted that status like, hey, who here would know? And it turns out a lot of people don't know. And I'm like, that is...
Wait, what? It's a specific type of hot dog?
It's a brand of hot dog. It is...
What's it called?
Bar S.
Bar S? I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is so a lot of people just naturally overlook it because you can get 8 hot dogs for 75 cents. And a lot of people, I think their mind's just like, boop, boop, nope, we're not going there. But
I have no idea what Bar S is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like the brand with like the 2 orange stripes? Is it like similar to that?
Yeah.
What is like, that? What is that called? There's like a name for that, right? The 2 orange stripe brand.
Oh,
that was way more common when I was a kid. I don't really see that anymore.
So it's like it has like red package, like the little logo. Its logo is red.
Yeah.
My parents so we grew up dirt poor. I mean, Michigan in general has a lower like cost of living, but also lower salary than most of the country. But then the town I grew up in was so much poorer than the rest of Michigan. I didn't realize that. So people who grew up wealthy in our neighborhood would go even just to the rest of the state and not look great. And I didn't learn this until college.
So you would have looked at me like the rich kid in town. and I'm sitting there like, I'm wearing Jordache shoes. Like, these are Pro Wings. It's Velcro. I don't even have laces.
Yeah. So the Bar S hot dogs, he didn't know what beanie weenies were. And I'm like, it's a poor staple.
I mean, I've heard the name Beanie Weenies, but I don't know what that is. What? We were immigrants. We were immigrants, which meant my mom would work 60 hours a week and still cook. Like, that's just what my mom did. So like, it was a lot of stews in our house. Like, it was a lot of bean stew, spinach stew, like soup. Like, it was a lot of that kind of stuff. And the only boxed thing that I would get that would be like a whole meal. Like, we did like mashed potatoes and stuff like that, but the only boxed thing that we got that was considered like an entire meal or frozen was Kraft mac and cheese. That was the only. So if my mom didn't have time to cook, there was just like a bunch of Kraft mac and cheese I could just go make for myself.
I'll give him credit. Like, he's from, like, his family's from, like, his mom was a New Yorker, and then the rest of his family is like Caribbean.
Yeah.
And his mom is Puerto Rican as well. But and then he lived in Florida for most of his life too, after they moved there from Puerto Rico. So we'll give him that. Like, I feel like it's more of a Midwestern poor food. But it's like, it's baked beans with hot dogs in it, beanie weenies. And
so SpaghettiOs. I did do that too. SpaghettiOs with the hot dog in it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could have that some nights, and then you could have beanie weenies some nights. And it is the best poor food. And I get cravings for it now. And then we were making frozen veggies one night, and I was like, oh, you can fold it into the mac and cheese. And he's like, vegetables and mac and cheese? I was like, you never did that growing up? That
Keith does that, and it drives me nuts. Yes. He'll put peas and carrots in the mac and cheese, and I'm like, ugh. He'll put tuna in the mac and cheese. I'm like, ugh.
I think it's good. We grew up with that too. Beans and cornbread. The Jiffy.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
The Jiffy mix with
Yeah.
and that's 30 cents for the whole pack, and that can feed a family of 4 plus a can of beans, which was like.
So we didn't do like sweet kind of cornbread. We always did like savory cornbread, but like it wasn't like cornbread like you would eat like a loaf or whatever. It was more of like a breakfast thing that my mom would make, and it was like in a baking pan or whatever, and you would just like bake it, and it would get like super like crispy on the outside, and it would be like super soft and fluffy on the inside. And then my mom used to make Greek yogurt at home. Like she would make Greek yogurt. And so you would take the Greek yogurt and water it down just a little bit. And then you would take the cornbread and crumble it up in a bowl and just pour the Greek yogurt over it. And that would be like a breakfast.
Oh, do you still have it now?
I haven't had it in a long time. I keep meaning to ask my mom for like the recipe because I want to make it, because that was like one of my favorite things when I was a kid. I probably wouldn't make the Greek yogurt. I'd probably just go buy the Greek yogurt. But although I mean, I do want to make Greek yogurt just one time. Like I have no idea how you would even do that.
So would that be a comfort food for you?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because like that was like one of my favorite things when I was a kid. Like when my mom would make that, I would be like, oh yes.
What's another comfort food?
Like a thing that my mom made. I'm trying to think. Only thing that's coming to mind is like sweets. Like she would make sweets every now and then, and one of the sweets that was like one of my favorites was this like, you get these like big like wafer sheets. They almost look like it's like a square sheet, but it's like a waffle kind of like that kind of cut. And you take hazelnuts and you just kind of crush them up, and you just mix it with like sugar and cream and whatever, and you turn it into like a paste. And then you like put a layer on one of the sheets, and you put another sheet on top, and you layer it and put another sheet and layer it. And then you just kind of like let it sit for a little bit so that it doesn't get soggy, but it softens it a little. And then you kind of like just cut it, like you cut it into strips, and then you cut the strips into kind of like diamonds, and you like eat them like that. And that was like one of my favorite things when I was a kid.
When's the last time you had that?
A long time. I haven't had these things in forever. Another comfort food, not something my mom made, but we would get it from my grandfather's best friend from Macedonia's restaurant. They made this stuff called budek. It's like phyllo dough with like, my favorite one was like ground beef. You would like ground up the beef and like season it, and you would put like, the traditional way is like it's a circle, and you put phyllo dough down, and then you put the filling on, and then you put another layer of phyllo dough, and then filling, and another layer and filling until you have like, you know, about a stack like that high. And then you bake it that way. And then when it comes out, it's all crispy on the outside, but then the inside is all like soft and moist. And you kind of just cut it into like a triangle, like a pizza slice basically. And you just like, you eat that. But another way to do it too is like a couple layers like that, but instead of in a circle, you roll it, and then you kind of like fold it into like a horseshoe shape, and then you bake it like that. That I actually kind of liked it that way better than the round way.
That sounds amazing.
It's really good. There's one place that I really, I mean, they make it in a lot of places, but there's one place that I really, really like. It's on like 14 Mile and Ryan, I think. It's like this European market. It's owned by Macedonians. And then there's a restaurant right next to it. I think the restaurant's called like Drago's. They make budek, but you have to like order it ahead, because they just get there early in the morning and just make all the budek, and then you just come pick it up.
Oh, I need to try this. When's the last time we had budek?
That's been a while too, actually. Not as long as the other ones. The budek's only been like a couple years, but like it's been a couple years.
We should have like a comfort food potluck.
Good morning, we're dying comfort food potluck at Sam's.